The following is a live sports presentation of Glycod. GLICOD.com.
Glycod's coverage of UA Local 502 Louisville basketball game night starts now.
Live from Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center, it's quarterfinal number 4 on what has been an outstanding Friday for high school basketball. I'm Chris Labar alongside former Mercy and State basketball championship from 2010, Mark Evans. Mark, it's Cooper and Sacred Heart tonight, the winner on to the semifinals, and these two teams very familiar with one another.
Very much so. Chris, they play every year. It's a standing deal, though, it's a home-and-home setup, so they know each other extremely well. Both are very successful, of course. Sacred Heart is off the scale in their success, but Coach Holthouse has gotten this Jaguar team here, 3 or 4 of the last 5 years. And so at least they have the experience of being on the floor against good ball teams.
This Cooper team is 26-5 to this tournament for the 4th straight year, and that's never happened in the 9th region.
Well, to get out of the 9th region is quite an ordeal. I mean, they have some fantastic teams, and they know each other so well. So, it's a true tribute to him and his program that they've been here, each and every year for the last several years. They've been in the semifinals a couple of different times. I know they got clipped in the first round last year by a good Danville Christian team that we just saw beat Henderson just a few minutes ago. But, it should be a real good ball game. Both teams hang their hat on the great defense. Both of them play great man-to-man. Both of them want to push you out of your offenses. I'll say, though, that the challenge for the Jaguars is going to be, to be able to go north and south as opposed to being pushed east and west tonight.
Cooper defeated Mercy yesterday to earn a spot today, 70-45 in that win, and they've got one of the better sophomores in the state in Haley Knoll.
Yeah, Knoll's a very good player. Coach and I were just talking about, but it doesn't hurt that she's been involved since she was a 7th grader and on that varsity team. And nothing like experience, and she had some really good players ahead of her that she's learned a lot from. And this year, she's really only being a sophomore, but she really understands the leadership role, and she's got a lot of good kids, including their seniors, to follow her.
Of course, you know all about Sacred Heart and what they've done. They're 32-3, trying to get a 5-peat. They've won, of course, the last 4. And heck, yesterday versus Johnson Central, they won 71-25, but in the second quarter, 23-0.
Well, they play such great defense, and if you turn the ball over against Sacred Heart, or you don't get any offensive rebounds, or you don't make shots, their next part of the best part of their game is their transition offense. They do a spectacular job of running wide lanes and finishing at the other end. So, you got to make shots, you got to rebound, and you can't make turnovers, and the way they play defense, sometimes that's hard to do.
Everything centers around McDonald's All-American Zakai Johnson, over 3,800 career points. She just ceases to amaze you and raises her level with each game.
Well, I thought yesterday is one of the best games I've seen Zakai play, and I've seen him throughout this year, and I've seen him over the last 4 years. I've actually coached against her too, but there's just a freedom to her now. She just glides up and down the court. There's a confidence, and everybody follows, and she makes everybody better. Coach Moore and I were talking about how she has a real good connection. We were talking about how well Riley Gilvin's playing this year. She's only a freshman, and she's moved leaps and bounds better and better and better, and I was really impressed with her yesterday. And Coach Moore and I said Zakai's kind of taken her under the wing, and they have a connection together. So, what better situation for a young freshman, and how cool is it for Zakiya to take that freshman under wing, and it's paying big dividends. I mean, she's a coach on the floor.
The winner gets Danville Christian tomorrow in the second semifinal at 1:30. Danville Christian was down 11 at half, came back to beat Henderson County right before we went on the air at 60-55. It's Cooper and it's Sacred Heart. We are 24 minutes from live basketball, and up next we'll join Justin Holthouse, his 5th season as the Cooper head coach, and you'll hear from him next from Glycod.
Buying or selling a new home, and you want to do it with few hassles? Count on Polo Real Estate Group. Founded and owned by 1993 Male High graduate Dion Reese, Polo Real Estate has over 2 decades of experience and offers skillful consultation and representation for your sale or purchase. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust.
You cannot depend on Carl to make peace with his seatbelt.
Today.
Or on Beth to choose the best meal to go.
Is that soup?
Or on Stephanie's perfect parking spot to stay perfect. But you can depend on their car starting because they have Interstate batteries. Interstate batteries, outrageously dependable.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. With health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable. They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
If you're struggling with something in school, sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself. This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Flying direct, not just flies. Flying direct, not just flies.
The one way a good person goes to prison is to hurt or kill someone while driving drunk. Why would you throw your life away? John and I are asking you, please don't drink and drive.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the law offices of D. Camillus and Mattingly in Louisville. Our reputation is our trademark.
Mark Evans here with Justin Holthouse, the head coach of Cooper's Jaguars. First of all, Coach Justin, congrats on a heck of a good season and getting out of a really, really, really tough region. And I know you've been getting out the last couple years, and it's awful special to get out and have this opportunity to come up here. You know, you get enough opportunities, sometimes you have the right breaks and the good things happen for you, but if you don't get here, you don't have that chance. Once again, you know, another great job. You know, but Justin, what is it about your team? I mean, you know, you keep bringing them back. You know, what does your team hang their hats on? I mean, what are you all about? I mean, what's what gets you there?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Mark, appreciate that opener. We've had a really successful season, a couple seasons here. We've been able to get down here to Rupp Arena the last 4 years. You know, it's never one kid, it's the culture and how we operate day to day with our program. We've been very successful. You know, we focus on, you know, the relationships and being together and doing it as one. That was kind of our motto all year, we over me. So our kids have really continued to buy into each other. And I think it shows it on the floor with their willingness to share the ball. But, you know, I think we really kind of hang our cap on defense, you know, just man-to-man defense, being very focused on ball pressure, helping each other out in gaps, and then just playing hard. You know, we take pride on diving on loose balls, getting 50-50 balls, So, you know, some of those things that we expect every single day, whether it's in practice, a scrimmage, or a game, those are the non-negotiables, and those are the things that have continued to push our program forward.
But what stood out to me, Justin, I know you're fairly young and you have a couple sophomores. I know you have a senior too, but anyway, what really impressed me with your defense is the ability to communicate. You got some communicators out there, and I don't know about you, but in my time coaching, that was one of the most difficult things to do. They like talking on their phones and to their friends, but you couldn't get them to talk on the court. You know, I think you really stand out in that. Is there anything special you do to get that done?
Well, and again, going back, just the day-to-day thing, we focus on talking, communicating. You know, if we're going to be successful at anything, we have to be good communicators. So, you know, that's something that myself and our coaching staff preaches every single day. And as a younger group, they've seen those older girls that have graduated from our program have a lot of success. They're trying to mimic a lot of those things that they've seen. So, you know, I think we could talk more. You know, as a coach, you always want your kids to talk more. But I think we do a pretty good job of staying connected with our communication.
Yeah, I was impressed. As far as a couple players, and you can mention more if you want to, but just take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about Haley Noel and Addison Brucey.
Yeah, so Haley Noel's a sophomore. She won Region Player of the Year for us in the 9th region, which is a loaded region. We brought her up as a 7th grader. She's been playing on RUP since a 7th grader. She's played, you know, some key minutes even when she was a 7th grader. She's just continued to develop her game overall. She handles the one for us. She's a very unselfish kid. She shares the ball. Really good rebounder for us. She's just got a knack for the ball at all times. So, you know, she's kind of at the top where she's leading us now. The last couple years, she's had really good girls or older girls to kind of look up to. So she's done a really good job of that on the floor, and then off the floor, her leadership as well, keeping everybody connected. And then Addison Brucey, she's a junior for us, and she's been up since her 8th grade year. She played really big last year down here at Rupp Arena, had some big plays down here. And her game's just continued to blossom. She's a leader on the defensive end with her ball pressure and her toughness. So we really rely on those two. Zanae Thompson's another one, our lone senior. She's been through it. You know, she's been here since her freshman year. Every year she's been in our program. We've won a region or gotten to the state tournament. So she's a big part of everything we do as well.
Great. As far as Sacred Heart, I know you played him a little bit earlier, and we both know the guy is difficult to deal with because of her many facets. You know, she can post you up inside. She can hit the three now. You know, she's pretty good on weak side rebounding, all those types of things. But, you know, what are you going to need to do tonight, Justin, to flip the script and have the opportunity to come out on top and move on in this tournament?
Yeah, and we've talked about that over the last 24 hours with us. What do we need to do? The one good thing is we have seen Sacred Heart this year. We played them over the last couple years as well, so we know their identity and what they do. They're going to hang their cap on the defensive end as well, and on the offensive end, they're going to play through Zakaya and Tootie. And so, you know, we've made some adjustments on how we'll guard them and things like that. But, you know, for our sake and what we need to do, I told the girls, I said we need to take care of the ball, limit our turnovers. They're really good at getting steals and getting buckets out of it. That's one of their keys. And then I said rebounding. I said, you know, it's going to be a war in the paint. You know, we're undersized, but we're going to have some guards tonight step up and rebound for us.
Well, I appreciate it, Justin. I wish you the best of luck. And, you know, you're a class act. I really do enjoy watching your team play. I'm not just saying that. I really enjoy watching your defense and the way you run the court. So thank you.
Appreciate that, Mark. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Mark. Appreciate it.
Not just blinds. Blinds direct. Not just blinds.
You cannot depend on Carl to make peace with his seatbelt.
Today.
Or on Beth to choose the best meal to go.
Is that soup?
Or on Stephanie's perfect parking spot to stay perfect. But you can depend on their car starting because they have Interstate batteries. Interstate batteries, outrageously dependable.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
1965 male graduate and basketball star George Tensley knows the value of providing quality service. And that's what you get when you dine with Tensley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, you know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. Big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. We're lending more than money. We're lending a hand. German American Bank, building our community together.
Only your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer has genuine parts, accessories, trained service technicians, and the widest selection of innovative Cub Cadet products. We're here for you whenever you need us, with expert service and support to keep your equipment running at peak performance for years to come. Visit your locally owned power equipment dealer, Anderson Sales and Service in Madison, Crestwood, and our newest location at 1675 Watterson Trail in Louisville. You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Now for an inside look to tonight's game presented by Blinds Direct. If you're looking for the best in home decor, contact Blinds Direct as they offer custom blinds, wallpaper, and more. Proudly serving Louisville for over 30 years. Visit blindsdirect.com. Coach Holthouse, Mark, spoke a bit about the culture of Cooper, and that's certainly they founding on defense, and he's done a great job with that program.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's why he's gotten here 4 years in a row. That's how he's gotten out of that 9th region. I've been very, very impressed with his man defense that he plays. That's what they hang their hat on. Once again, I mentioned in the interview about his communication, the way they communicate. They do a great job of that. Tonight they're going to have to be at their best, and they're going to have to rebound. That's going to be a big piece.
I noticed on your stat sheet there, Zakiah Johnson, it's underlined under Cooper. Extrapolate on what they have to do.
Well, I think that's the key. I coached against Zakiah when I was in Anderson County in the state tournament. I watched her play often. I watch the Assumption player and their game plan. But when it comes to Zakiah, she's a great player and she can do it all. And when someone is that good, you have to keep the ball out of her hands the best way you can. And you have to make some sacrifices in other places to do that. I think you need to limit her touches. I think that, if she gets the ball out on the court, I think you should trap her and force her to give it up if you can. And I think if she catches the ball in the post, I think you have to double up on her. I think you have to make her kick it off to another teammate. Not that they might hurt you. She's a great passer, but not as much as when the ball's in her hands.
What about for Sacred Heart?
For Sacred Heart just has to give up no second shots. I mean, they just need to dominate the defensive boards because they play such great defense. They push these teams out. What they need to do, what they can do, is if they take care of the defensive board, it allows them to get out and run. And if they're able to run, that's one of the hallmark Sacred Heart, they are fantastic at that. And, so if you dominate the boards and you can run, I think they need to bring great energy like we saw the other night with their defense in a smart way, with purpose. They need to execute. They can't just run around. I expect them to be ready to do that tonight. And then I think they need to push the pace. That is Sacred Heart basketball. Not that they can't play great on the half court, but they sure would like to get more layups. and that's how they get their layups.
This broadcast is copyrighted by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the KHSAA is prohibited. Of course, the Valkyries are coached by 34-year veteran Donna Moyer. 836 wins all-time, second most in Kentucky history, and you'll hear from her next on Glycod.
Go ahead, pour it on. As thick as you want to. Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering. Serving up the tastiest ribs, chicken, brisket, brown sugar sticky wings, mutton and ham. Always served to you fresh and so good, it'll make you say,
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering, 7508 Preston Highway.
Holy smokes!
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right. Pepperoni pockets, cuckoo crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a side of ranch.
For surprisingly great rates and great service, call State Farm agent Mike Shelton in Louisville today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Research has shown high school sports to be a great community influence. Join scores of local businesses that have partnered with Glycod in sponsoring live, hometown-oriented sports programming on our video and social media platforms. For more information, email info@glycod.com.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
Are you an HVAC and refrigeration tech looking for new opportunities? Tech 24 is your single source for commercial HVAC, refrigeration, and kitchen equipment maintenance all across the country. We have exciting career opportunities with great pay and benefits in your area. To learn more, contact Brad at 864-549-8344 and check us out on the web at mytech24.com. 864-549-8344.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables. But last week, I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the Kentucky Army National Guard. Serve your country while going to school or work full-time. Find your fit at nationalguard.com.
Mark Evans with Donna Moore, head coach of the Sacred Heart Valkyries. And Donna, we talk about this a lot, but you came up here with 4 games to win, and you got one down yesterday or whenever it was I saw you. My days are running together, and looked great, without a doubt. Looked really, really good, and now you got 3 to go for the.
One game at a time, Coach Evans. I think Cooper. They're going to be ready for us. We played them early January up at Cooper, and really played well defensively, and that's going to be the key for us, is to just really lock in on defense and not let them go where they want to go.
Well, I think I noticed at the game yesterday when I covered it, you just forced I shouldn't say poor, but you forced Johnson Central just so much out of their offense. I was just really impressed with the communication, the footwork, the denial, just the ball pressure, just everything about it. It was like a defensive clinic and also a transition clinic on the offense, to the offense, I thought. With your thoughts about them, what are the top 2 or 3 things that you feel like you need to do tonight?
We got
really tilt this.
Yeah, we got to contain Noelle. Number 10. We've got to. I think a lot of things run through her. We got to make sure that we don't let her get loose very often and really pressure her with the ball. And then 23, we got to get on her and not allow any straight line drives and not leave their shooters open. Like, don't leave ball side shooters. I mean, we've worked on that and making sure we don't give them too many open looks. And then we get organized on the offense and defensive end, especially on our offense. If they press us, that we get organized, get our middle, don't just rush and kind of take our time and try to get some, transition baskets.
Well, break them down against the pressure and finish on them. That gets you out of that pressure somewhat. But I just thought you did a magnificent job, though, of that first game in. You never know how they're going to react with the first game play, but boy, I mean, they hit on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Now you just got to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, we do. Our kids are loose. We did a walkthrough this afternoon at Sayre. Just kind of went over some of their defensive sets. It's such a quick turnaround the way our draws work. Same for Cooper. To try to get ready. You can't look ahead. You can only take the game that you have. And so we went over. Just did some light work and did some film work this afternoon to try to. 8:30. That's past my bedtime. But just get out there and try to keep them fresh and keep them off their feet.
Well, I mean, you and I both know the perfect draw is always on a Wednesday. So you have that day off, but you'll take what you can get in the state tournament, and you got through the first one, and you got a big one tonight, and then, like you said, you take it one at a time. Wish you the best. Thank the world of you, and best of luck to you.
All right, thank you, Coach Evans.
Thank you, Donna.
All right.
Thank
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full time.
While I work full time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Check it. Ooh.
Need a better battery? Get an Interstate battery. Outrageously dependable.
Should have had an Interstate.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville.
From Glycon, it's UA Local 502 Louisville Basketball Game Night. UA Local 502. They do it right the first time. Tonight's game is brought to you by Tinsley Family Concessions, commitment to quality. The Army National Guard, where the next greatest generation is now. German American Bank, building our community together. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust. IBEW Local 369, power up your potential. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles. State Farm Insurance Agent Mike Shelton. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Holy Smokes Barbecue. Now courtside for all the action from Glycod on UA Local 502 Louisville Basketball Game Night.
Welcome back to Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. Time now for your starting lineups presented by Interstate Batteries. Get started with Interstate Batteries. The expected starters for Cooper highlighted by 9th Region Player of the Year, Haley Knoll. Haley, a 6-foot sophomore, team leading points and rebounds at 16 and 8. Addison Brissy, all 9th Region as well, averaging 10 points. Zanae Thompson is the lone senior. She'll contribute 9 with Olivia Scott starting, and also Brinkley Rankin. Scott averaging 8 points and 5 boards. The quintet for Sacred Heart, you know the names. Louisville, Zakiya Johnson, Bree Wilkins, Tootie Jordan, Morgan Fry, Carolyn Osting, Bree Wilkins. Her first Sweet 16 game yesterday. She played quite well, Mark.
Oh, absolutely. She's a gamer. She's I call her Silk. I mean, she's smooth as smooth can be, and she's actually attacking the basket a little bit more now, so it gives her more of a dual threat. She's a player.
These two teams so familiar with one another. The Valkyries have won 6 straight in this series, including a pair of semifinal matches in 22 and again last year versus Cooper.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Donna's had their number, the Valkyries had, but you know what Coach Holthouse has done with this Cooper program is just spectacular. He's a longtime boys coach. He coached under a great coach that's still Cooper today, looking to try to get out of the region on the boys side. But, you know, he told me he took a lot of lessons from him. But, you know, one thing about his team, coaches' teams, they're well connected. They play really hard, and they play for each other and for their coach.
And they're also so well respected around the state for what they're able to do year in and year out.
Well, what I like about him is he takes all comers. He's always looking for the best teams to play throughout the state and outside of the state, even though his region is very difficult. He's not so concerned about his record through the year. He's concerned about being here in the end, and the formula has worked out extremely well for him the last 4 years.
Coach Holthouse, 5 years, 84% winner during that stretch. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, more than pretty impressive, especially the competition they have and some of the traditions that they have to go through up there and that they have went through and knocked off. And now right now they're the queens of that region.
Mutual respect between these two coaches and programs. It's so apparent. 3 officials. Great responsibility for them. Brian Yankee, Scott Kendall, and Lexington's Raymond Lightfoot, tonight's officials. Thank you so much for tuning in on Glycod. Please subscribe to our YouTube platform as we bring you the most positive representation of high school athletics. The winner gets Danville Christian tomorrow tomorrow afternoon in semifinal number 2. That's a 1:30 start in the upper bracket. It's George Rogers Clark and Frederick Douglass. And Sacred Heart has beaten all 3 of those teams, but they've got one to get through tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's they know Cooper's a good team. Cooper's going to have to shoot the ball extremely well, and they'll need to get off to an excellent start, knocking down shots. You know, it's really difficult to play behind Sacred Heart. Their guards are so good. It's very difficult. You need to really get yourself ahead or play right with them.
And Sacred Heart wins the tip as Johnson bats it in backcourt, and a little miscommunication there as Osting and Bree Wilkins weren't certain who was going to go get that ball, and it's out to Cooper.
Well, if you remember right, Dockery started off with about 4 or 5 turnovers yesterday. It's just beginning game stuff. They'll be fine, and once again, both defenses try to push the offenses out. We'll see how that goes for either one of them. Whoever is able to win that battle will win this basketball game.
Zanae Johnson sealed off at the foul line as Cooper. Nice backdoor cut. The basket is up off by Brinkley Rankin, and Zakiya Johnson brings it down for Sacred Heart.
Yeah, that was a tough burst for Cooper. Great backdoor cut, block shot by Zakiya.
And Zakiya's 3, Mark, well off the mark off the baseline, and it's going to be out of bounds. Cooper with no score, 7-13 in this first quarter.
Yeah, and then Tootie comes in from behind and gets the second block shot. So, it's going to be interesting. Cooper's going to have to make some outside shots. I don't want them settling. I want them attacking, but they're going to have to make some outside shots.
There's Zanae Thompson underneath as Haley Knoll touches it. Elbow jumper is well long, and the rebound catapulted and gobbled up by Brinkley Rankin of the Jaguars. Knoll a three again up top, and this one's in. Haley Knoll, her 59th made three of the year as Cooper leading early 3-0.
Well, she shoots at 41% from the three. That's pretty daggone good.
There's Bree Wilkins with a seal. That shot a little bit long, and the Jaguars seal off Morgan Fry, and they have the rebound. Here comes Brinkley Rankin over to Knoll. Diagonal pass, Olivia Scott blew a layup, and the rebound vacuumed in by Caroline Osting of Sacred Heart as Zakiya Johnson all the way to the basket, leaves it short, and a Cooper foul underneath. Going to be a blocking foul on Jaguars' Zanae Thompson.
Well, Chris, the Jaguars just cannot afford open court missed layups. They just cannot afford that. That was a great energy play for the Jaguars. It just was a tough miss, and that's just can't do that.
Zakiya Johnson draining the first free throw. Riley Gilvin checking in for the Valkyries as Caroline Osting exits. Gilvin played very well yesterday, 12 points off the Valkyrie bench.
Yeah, she's been one of the most impressive players I've seen from Sacred Heart. She's really come a long way from the beginning of the season.
2 free throws in for Zakiya Johnson. And a 3-2 Cooper beginning. Nearly 2 minutes gone by as Addison Brissy in the front court, shadowed by the retreating number 0, Tootie Jordan at 5'5". There's Olivia Scott, foul line jumper a little bit long, and the rebound finds Bree Wilkins for Sacred Heart.
Yeah, Sacred Heart's guards do a great job of rebounding.
Transition opportunity right through Morgan Fry. She funneled it back in play, and Cooper out with it. Driving is Brinkley Rankin, and she's called for a travel as the Jaguars commit another turnover at the 5:44 mark.
Well, Chris, all you're going to see is man-to-man, man-to-man, man-to-man. Last time the Valkyries picked up pretty much full, but they retreated right back into their half-court man. Same thing with the Cooper team. They're picking up at half-court and dropping right into their good man-to-man.
Riley Gilvin has it up top for the Valkyries. She'll hand to Bree Wilkins, high left. 2.5 minutes gone by. Backdoor cut, Zakiya Johnson puts it in off the Gilvin assist.
Yeah, slip screen that time. It was a pick and roll, and Zakiya slipped. I'll tell you what, though, it's interesting. Haley Knoll is guarding Zakiya, and that's a big play because you're risking some foul trouble.
Olivia Scott built high pass near sideline. Zanae Thompson for the Jaguars. She'll weave her way in the lane, and Zakiya, I believe, called for a foul. She tried to swat down on that block shot, and Cooper to the free throw line for 2.
Well, that's exactly why the Jaguars need to attack the basket, attack the rim, in the hopes of maybe Zakiya getting some fouls. I mean, if she gets some foul trouble, Sacred Heart's not the same team. There's no doubt about that.
Zanae Thompson off with that free throw as the Valkyries send on Becca Carson off the bench. Becca, couple of made threes yesterday versus Johnson Central. So already Donna Moyer going too deep into the bench. And Thompson has that one swirl out. And there's Johnson with a snare for the Valkyries. Sacred Heart leading 4-3, and a turnover as Riley Gilvin tried to find Morgan Fry racing down the floor. And Raymond Lightfoot said we have a held ball.
Well, we have Sacred Heart's third turnover of this early first quarter so far. So it's helping Cooper get the possessions. Cooper just needs to capitalize with some made shots.
Jaguars inbound. It's Knoll in backcourt. And now Zanae Thompson working opposite Morgan Fry, far sideline. Brinkley Rankin off from the corner right in front of the Sacred Heart bench. Long rebound secured by Tootie Jordan, and then racing up the far sideline, she stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, once again, it took Sacred Heart just a little bit to get going the other day. Great job by Cooper. That was good ball movement by Cooper. Reverse the ball to the corner for a good corner three-point shooter. Just missed the shot.
Morgan Fry, anticipatory, knocks it away, and Fry, can she convert? Puts it up, leaves it short. Carson follows, got the roll. Becca Carson with her first field goal, and Sacred Heart has run off 6 in succession. Nearly 4 minutes gone by. Here's Brinkley Rankin up top. Belt high pass back to Addison Brissy.
Carson's really doing a nice job with her defense. She's really worked on it. Used to be not anything that she put a lot of concentration in, but she's really improved.
Noel missed the corner three, and the basket followed by Zane Thompson. And it's 6-5 Sacred Heart after the Cooper putback. Carson weaving it to Tootie Jordan. There's Jordan through contact, swiped away. Zane Thompson in a foot race to the basket for Cooper. And a Riley Gilvin Sacred Heart foul at the 3:37 mark.
Excellent job of drawing that foul in that open court transition. You know, that's a young lady that Donna and the Sacred Heart Valkyries were really concerned about, trying to take away her straight line drives, and that's Zane Thompson. She does a good job of attacking.
So Zane connecting on that free throw, and Cooper going to their bench for the first time. They're going to cite 5'6" junior Lyric Hooper. And the Valkyries counter with bringing Bree Wilkins back, an initial starter off the bench as Morgan Fry leaves.
Yeah,
Zane Thompson, one more free throw.
She's just resting her players is all she's doing right now, just giving them all a little bit of a blow on this long court.
A 7-6 Cooper start. 4.5 minutes have elapsed. Bree Wilkins, the entry to Zakaya. She's double teamed. Zakaya fights through it, and there is the first Cooper foul.
Well, you know, Chris, we talked about that in the inside looks. I think that's really important. You got to double her. But like I said, right now, Cooper's taking a big chance by putting their great Haley Noel on Zakaya. So that's a heck of a matchup to watch.
There's Zakaya drawing attention again, feeds Wilkins. Bree leaves it short, got her own rebound, put it up and in, and a Cooper foul. So Wilkins on the putback gives the Valkyries the lead as Cooper picks up their third foul.
Yeah, that was tough on Cooper. You know, you give them one shot only, but, you know, you go for the block and you don't get the rebound. That really hurts you.
Wilkins connecting on the free throw. And a 9-7 Sacred Heart advantage as Cooper being badgered in backcourt. And Tootie poked it away as Tootie Jordan out with it for the Valkyries.
They picked them up full court man and finally got something to happen positive for the Valkyries with their man press.
Zakaya skip pass, wonderful movement as Bree Wilkins drives in. Becca Carson for a three off to the left. And Gilvin funneled it back in play, and it's going to be out of bounds Sacred Heart. So the FAR official saying Sacred Heart ball right in front of Justin Holthouse that wants an explanation.
Yeah, it's in our corner, Chris. I couldn't see that particular play. I have no idea what the call was about. Looked like the Jaguars had cleared the ball and headed down the court to me. I don't know where he came from.
FAR official said it's going to be Sacred Heart ball when we come back. Coach Holthouse appears okay with it. 2:54 first quarter, Valkyries by 2 on Glycod.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Looking at the replay mark, it appeared the Cooper player did have a foot on the baseline.
Yeah, definitely so. Great call by the official, and you know, Coach Holthouse, he totally understood. So it was no doubt about it. It was a good call, and we play on.
So Sacred Heart ball up 2:54 in this first quarter. Donna Moyer out with her players. And the 5, she'll shuttle out there as coach holding the clipboard in the left hand, walking back to the bench. She'll have a seat to the left of Bob Tonini. And Bree Wilkins to inbound underneath the Valkyrie basket. Bree with that big 3-point play to give SHA a 2-point early lead. Wilkins inbounding. There's a cutting Zakaya underneath. Johnson puts it up and in.
Yeah, excellent inbounds play, and now Sagar's really picking up the pressure. Going to try to turn this team over and make them play fast.
And a travel. The result is Addison Brissy applied the break right in front of the Valkyrie bench as Morgan Fry checks back in.
Yeah, it looked as if the Valkyries went to that 1-2-2 that they've been using lately, and really creates a lot of issues because they're so long, and forces the passes to be up over the top.
Here comes Tootie Jordan into forecourt as the Valkyries by 4 now. Jordan weaving her way in. Finds Morgan Fry, top of the key. There's Zakaya Johnson. There's the entry to Tootie, and now Tootie's sealed off. Put it down underneath to Morgan Fry. The ball finds Wilkins on the opposite corner, and a Cooper foul as Wilkins, I think, beneficiary of that fumble.
Yeah, excellent hustle both sides. All the young ladies are all over the floor, and Bree was very, very, very fortunate. Catch the ball on the weak side and get the foul.
4 early fouls now on the Jaguars. Bree Wilkins for 2. Free throw is in.
Well, both teams shoot 72% from the free throw line, but the problem is that the big 3 for Sacred Heart all shoot the ball 70 or better, and only a couple of the Cooper players shoot the ball better than 70.
13-7 Sacred Heart advantage. Since the opening Cooper 3, the Valkyries have been on a 13-4 run.
Yeah, they're in a 1-2-1-1 press. Look at the trap as soon as the ball comes inbounds. There it is.
As Cooper tries to bring it, that's Olivia Scott in backcourt. The ball deflected by Riley Gilvin, and the Jaguars somehow come out with it as Addison Brissy drives, and the layup goes in.
Excellent job of transition, but now it's going the other way.
Morgan Fry misses a layup, followed by Gilvin, and a Cooper foul with 1:58 in this first quarter. So Gilvin, following the miss from Fry, she raced all the way down the floor. And we've got a Cooper student-athlete with some blood on the knee. That's Addison Brissy that's going to walk over to the near sideline, and immediate timeout. The result, 1:58 first quarter. Sacred Heart on top, 13-9 with 2 free throws on the other side of this timeout.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. Big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. We're lending more than money. We're lending a hand. German American Bank, building our community together.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Well, Sacred Heart has responded despite a couple of early turnovers, now leading by 4.
Well, they picked up the pressure, but what's really killing the Jaguars is Sacred Heart's missing the first shot in transition. But what's ended up happening is all the Cooper team is running under the basket to get the rebounds. Balls bouncing over top of their heads, and they're giving second shots up to Sacred Heart, and that's the reason why we're getting these and one opportunities. They're going to have to stop a little sooner and box out a little bit and take care of the block middle if they're going to be able to withstand this transition second shot deal.
6 early points for Zakaya Johnson, 5 for Bree Wilkins. And Zanae Thompson thus far with 4 pacing Cooper. This is a team on a 6-game winning streak since that loss to Assumption in their regular season finale. Of course, everyone knows about Assumption after taking Sacred Heart to the wall in the 7th Region semifinal. And here are the Valkyries, only 3 losses. Of course, Simon Kenton, the lone blemish in Kentucky in the last 92 games, 92 plus now. As Riley Gilvin to the free throw line.
Well, Jeff does a fantastic job with the Simon Kenton team, and You know, they got them on a night where maybe Sacred Heart was a step behind or whatever. I don't want to take any credit away from Simon Kenton, but a lot of fouls called and a lot of free throws shot by the Simon Kenton team.
So Riley Gilvin, 2 early points, will shoot a couple of free throws, and that one swirls in.
Yeah, look for a 1-2-2 or 1-2-1-1 press coming up on this make.
And Gilvin connecting on both. 15-9 now, Sacred Heart. Leading by 6 with 6 minutes gone by is Haley Knoll.
Yeah, they just fell out straight man that time, Chris. They didn't go 1-2-2 or 1-2-1-1.
Knoll into front court. The ball woven up top to Olivia Scott. And now Addison Brissy on the exchange at the keyhole with Olivia Scott. And Scott far sideline. Tootie Jordan accosting her.
Yeah, this defense by the Valkyries is relentless, and it's forcing the offense so far out. Some way, shape, or form, the Jaguars are going to have to get by the front. They're going to have to get by somebody to create an opportunity.
Jaguars with it up top. There's Brinkley Rankin as they're about 25 feet now from the basket. Just inside the arc, a long 2, well off to the left, deflecting off the baseline. That was Olivia Scott, and it's Sacred Heart ball length of the floor.
Yeah, Olivia is a pretty good three-point shooter. That wasn't a bad shot to take, but it was more or less after the relentless defense. That's the only opportunity she saw.
Under a minute now, first quarter. Sacred Heart protecting a 6-point lead as Tootie Jordan handles far sideline. And Jordan inches it in the corner. Zakiya Johnson heaves a 3, long. And the rebound out of bounds off of Morgan Fry. And I think they're going to call Morgan with a foul over the top. It is on Sacred Heart.
Well, you know, that was a little different situation, Chris. That was out of the set offense with Zakiya taking the outside shot. You know, it gave the Jaguars a lot better opportunity to truly box out. Transition is what's been killing them, giving up the second shots.
Caroline Osting checks in for Zakiya with 38 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Haley Knoll pausing far sideline. Left-hand shot's going to rim out from Addison Brissy. As Sacred Heart with a run out at the other end. That's Osting. Wilkins fills on the side and puts it in.
Yeah, that's some of the vintage Sacred Heart, the way they run the court. They look up, they get it out, and they all fill lanes.
Bree Wilkins with 7 as we slide under 10 in the quarter, and a layup missed by Lyric Hooper. Valkyries clear the rebound. That's Gilvin into front court at 3. Wilkins at 1. And a shot will not go off in time. And that's going to wrap up quarter 1. Sacred Heart 17 and Cooper 9. More coverage after this pause from Glycod.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Welcome back to Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. 1 quarter complete. Sacred Heart on top of Cooper, 17-9. Jaguars have missed several in the paint.
Yeah, you know, it's the long hands. I mean, it's the tall kids with the long hands. It's Bree. It's Zakiya. It's Morgan Fry. They put those hands up there and it changes shots, and that's been the difference. And really, like I said, transition rebound or lack of by the by the Jaguars has really hurt them and gave up multiple second shots. And right now, neither team is shooting the ball that well, but once again, Sacred Heart's tearing it up at the free throw line, 7 for 7 from the line.
Cooper unofficially 23% field goals on 3 of 13 shooting in the first quarter.
I have 3 of 15, so we're about right on the same deal, and neither one of them's too good, that's for sure. 1 of 3 from the three-point line. It's just a smothering Valkyrie defense. The Jaguars are playing excellent defense themselves, but like I said, it's the little things that's getting them right now.
Sacred Heart +7 on the backboards as we get set for quarter 2. There's Zakiah Johnson on the dribble, drives all the way to the basket. It rims out. Fry closing for the rebound, and Morgan throws it away as it's stolen by Addison Brissy. As Brissy driving, and a foul on the Valkyries, Bree Wilkins. 2 free throws looming for the 5'9 junior, all 9th region performer Addison Brissy. That's 17 points, 9 rebounds yesterday in that blowout win versus Mercy. Yeah, free throw was in.
Excellent shooter at 38% from the three-point line, and good free throw shooter at 70%.
As Brissy, the lefty, going to heave another one, and that one bounces out. There's a rebound collected by Zakiah Johnson. Sacred Heart now by 7 with just over 7 minutes first half. Zakiah Johnson, belt high pass in the corner. That's Becca Carson. Zakiah high right, 3, in and out. Rebound, Cooper, snagged by Haley Knoll, and Knoll lost it. Zakiah Johnson trying to find Tootie Jordan, and it's going to be out of bounds to Cooper.
Yeah, that last play by Sacred Heart by Tootie was an excellent drive to the paint, kick back for a perfect three-point opportunity for Zakiah. She just missed it, but it was an excellent play to free up a good shooter.
Riley Gilvin to the scorer's table. She's going to check in for the Valkyries. We're seeing some sloppy basketball here from both these teams. I think the defenses might have something to do with it.
It has everything to do with it. There's no easy shots.
And a travel here at this end is Anae Thompson driving to the basket. And Riley Gilvin back in for the Valkyries as Tootie Jordan exits.
Well, they've opened up this quarter with two turnovers apiece. But once again, the difference maker has been the free throws on the second shots that Sacred Heart's gotten out of their transition.
Bree Wilkins in the corner. Now up top to 11, Zakiah Johnson.
Yeah, look for Zakiah posting up here soon.
There's Morgan Fry. She's fouled underneath as Caroline Osting threaded the ball down there. And a Cooper foul. First foul this quarter on the Jaguars. And it's Bree Wilkins to ignite the offense from underneath. Lob to Zakiah. Nice catch. Dumped it down low. Wilkins missed it from the doorstep. And it's out of bounds again to the Valkyries as Cooper cannot get the rebound.
No, and that's Coach Holthouse said that's something they had to do. And that's something that we talked about in our inside looks. It's something they have to do, is only give up one shot at a time.
Osting swishes a 3 up top. Caroline Osting.
Yeah, Caroline's only a 29% three-point shooter, but she was wide open, looked like a pro, had great rhythm, and knocked it down.
2010 Valkyries. Haley Knoll on the bounce for Cooper. Knoll flaunts it in the lane. That's long as Zakiah Johnson snags the rebound for Sacred Heart. And now Haley Knoll commits a foul, bumping Riley Gilvin coming up the floor.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if Gilvin meant to do that, but that was an extremely veteran play. Feel the pressure of the defense coming up and slow down, let them run over top of you. And it being Haley Knoll, that even makes it 10 times better for the Valkyries because Knoll has to be in the ballgame.
First foul on Haley Knoll. As Tootie Jordan back in the game for Sacred Heart. Just over 6 minutes in this first half. Zakiah Johnson skip past Tootie Jordan. High arcing 3 short. Johnson backside rebound wouldn't go down, but there's Riley Gilvin to snuff it out for Sacred Heart. And then they're going to throw it away. Osting trying to find Fry underneath. And Zakiya Johnson pleading her case, and she picks up her second foul.
Well, Chris, that's a pivotal foul, boy. It's with 5 minutes to go, and it looks like Coach Moore is going to get her out and give her a break. But, man, when she's not on the court, it's a changed game.
So Bree Wilkins checks in, and we'll see how things play out as Zakiya with her second foul. 5:40 left in the half. It's Sacred Heart by 10.
Well, you know, if the Jaguars can get some offense going, and Sacred Heart's lost one of their inside erasers. If they can get to the rim and get a few scores, it might get real interesting real quick.
Zanae Thompson puts it in on a twirl. Thompson with a half dozen.
Yeah, they're a lot more bold going in there without Zakiya in there as an eraser, and that's what they need to do.
Tootie Jordan near corner for the Valkyries. Jordan skip pass right to Riley Gilvin. Missed it from the doorstep as well, and Cooper races out with a rebound. And then they're going to throw it away. That's Caroline Osting, but she's on the far sideline. It'll stay Cooper.
Yeah, forced pass, not a good pass, but the Jaguars caught a break, and they need some breaks. You know, to get them rolling here. If they could get this thing evened up before half, it would be a big plus for them.
Tari Ralston in for Sacred Heart, spelling Morgan Fry. There's Zanae Thompson working against the freshman Riley Gilvin. Muscled the shot short, got her own no, and there's Tootie to sneak out for the Valkyrie rebound, and then she throws it away, but it's going to find Bree Wilkins, and she'll put it in. There's Haley Knoll up top for Cooper. Knoll pausing at the elbow. Right off of Addison Brissy for an unforced turnover as it rolls out of bounds.
Well, Coach Moore has got to be happy. We've had a minute or so go by with Zakiya sitting on the bench, and there's been no dents whatsoever made in their in this lead. Matter of fact, it's been increased by the Valkyries.
Just over 4 minutes in the half. There's the entry. Nice catch by Osting. Put it up and in. And a Cooper 30-second timeout is Caroline Osting with 5 big points in this quarter. And it's a 12-point Sacred Heart lead. 4:06 second quarter. Back after this.
The one way a good person goes to prison is to hurt or kill someone while driving drunk. Why would you throw your life away? John and I are asking you, please don't drink and drive.
Research has shown high school sports to be a great community influence. Join scores of local businesses that have partnered with Glycod in sponsoring live, hometown-oriented sports programming on our video and social media platforms. For more information, email info@glycod.com.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
Caroline Osting has really provided a lift for this Sacred Heart team. 5 points, only averages 4.
Well, she does a lot of the little things throughout the season. That time she did a great job of recognizing a mismatch and getting in there and posting up really big. And then, unfortunately, the player played her to her wrong shoulder. She turned over left shoulder for an easy basket.
Cooper with the ball as Haley Knoll held to 3 points thus far. She'll spell it to Olivia Scott as Scott's spinning in. Brinkley Rankin up top. And a turnover as Rankin had it poked away from behind. Now Tari Ralston heaves a 3 from the wing. That is out. Raymond Lightfoot, the lead official, blowing the whistle, and it's going to be Cooper ball, held ball, so the Jaguars with possession.
Yeah, these 5 turnovers in this second quarter has really been detrimental to the Jaguars having the opportunity to make this a close game.
Knoll again having all sorts of issues hanging on to the ball. It's Brissy in the near wing. And Brissy, Tootie Jordan, and Bree Wilkins collaborating on that near steal. And a Sacred Heart foul on Wilkins.
Wilkins did a great job of setting the player up. Only thing she did was once she set her up and tipped the ball away, she went wide over top of her and created the foul. But right now the quick hands and Ralston is actually giving Knoll fits right now with her defense. the quick hands of the Valkyries is really, really starting to wear on the Cooper Jaguars.
Bree Wilkins with her second foul. So Wilkins and Zakaya each on the bench with 2, with 3 minutes now in this second quarter. Zane Thompson driving, and out of bounds. It stays Cooper.
Very fortunate that time by the Jaguars. Really, Zane should have looked for the shot. You know, they're overpassing. It doesn't do you good to pass a foot away from you.
Zane Thompson up top, entry to Haley Knoll. Shots off, but a Sacred Heart foul. Fouls really starting to pile up now. 4 of them for the Valkyries in this quarter.
3 minutes to go, and you know they really need to continue to attack if you're the Jaguars to try to make best use of time and get into the free throw line.
Haley Knoll knocking in for her 4th point. Been a part of this program now for 4 years. And that one's long, and that seems to be the trend now in high school, getting a younger and earlier start.
Well, if you have that opportunity, if you have a program, you can do that. If you're in the counties, you can do that. For instance, Sacred Heart, they cannot start out with 7th and 8th graders. It's something that our Archdiocese said a long time ago.
Timeout on the floor, 2:56 in this first half. Sacred Heart will have the basketball when we come back. A 24-13 lead from Glycod.
Are you an HVAC and refrigeration tech looking for new opportunities? Tech 24 is your single source for commercial HVAC, refrigeration, and kitchen equipment maintenance all across the country. We have exciting career opportunities with great pay and benefits in your area. To learn more, contact Brad at 864-549-8344 and check us out on the web at mytech24.com. 864-549-8344.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by Tech 24, a commercial food service repair company. Find out how you can train for a rewarding career and earn top pay and benefits by visiting mytech24.com.
Sacred Heart protecting a 24-13 lead, 2:56 in this first half. Valkyries trying to get back to the semifinals for a matchup tomorrow at 1:30 opposite Danville Christian. Danville came from 11 down at half to upend Henderson County 60-55. A little bit of a surprise there. So what's the plan, Mark, for Sacred Heart? They've got both Johnson and Wilkins with 2 fouls. Do you keep them on the bench for the last 3 minutes?
Oh, they're in great shape. I mean, they've increased their lead the last couple of times with people like Gilvin and people like people like Osting stepping up for them. I mean, they're fine. The problem has been for the Jaguars is too many second shots given up and way too many turnovers.
We'll talk about adjustments at half, but certainly for Justin Holthouse's group, they got to find a way to get some open looks. Haley Knowles made the only 3 for them. This is a team that certainly relying on 3 for a lot of their success.
Well, they worked. The Valkyries have been working a lot on taking away corner shooters. So when they drive off the top, they have no option outside. So they got to go one-on-one against the bigs of Sacred Heart, and it's just not a good recipe for success.
Sacred Heart will re-inbound as the ball deflected out off of Olivia Scott. As Caroline Osting to initiate, finds Riley Gilvin in the corner. There's a skip pass right through Morgan Fry. Got it back, though, and banked it in.
Yeah. Well, Coach Moore's got to feel great about this. Two of your top players sitting on the bench, and, boy, they're increasing the lead and playing great defense still and finding an offense against the Jaguars.
Zane Thompson driving, initiating contact, and there will be a Valkyrie foul. Tootie Jordan, I believe. Nope, that's Tari Ralston, called for the foul as Zane Thompson, the free throw line for 2.
Yeah, Coach Moore is really going for the daggers and putting Carson in to maybe find a good open look or 2 for 3s and really increase his big lead that we already are looking at going into the half.
So Ralston out, and Mark mentioned Becca Carson in for Sacred Heart. As Zane Thompson off the mark, but made the second, so it's a 12-point difference.
Yeah, Carson comes in for offense, and Ralston comes in for defense. That's the trade-off.
Tootie Jordan up top for the Valkyries. Post to Morgan Fry. Now Becca Carson top of the key. Tootie Jordan near wing slithers in the lane, lofts it up, it rolls out. And Cooper with a strong rebound occupied by Haley Knoll. Here comes Olivia Scott all the way to the basket, and Jordan just like that knocks it out of bounds.
Well, that's what's so frustrating. You think you have an open lane to the basket, and in comes the quickness of Tootie Jordan and tips you. So one more easy opportunity fails.
Cooper inbounding. Well executed play. Haley Knoll caught it, and then Osting closed late for the Sacred Heart foul.
Yeah, I liked how Caroline looked really innocent on that and looked at the official. She gave her a pretty good bump on that inbound play.
Free throw perfectly executed for Knoll as she'll connect. Knoll now with 6 points, made them both.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be any doubt if the Jaguars could come out of this, going into this half in single digits behind, they would be thrilled to death.
2 minutes now in the half, and Tootie Jordan tried to find both Gilvin and Becca Carson, and it went right between them out of bounds.
Yeah, that's just, this is a lineup that Donna seldom plays. And when you do that, it does definitely affect how connected you are in your offense.
1:54 now in this half as Cooper possesses the ball down 10 as Zanae Thompson drives in. A foul up top, and again, Sacred Heart over the limit. So Cooper to the free throw line.
Well, Zanae's a force. I mean, it's one of Donna's concerns of straight line drives. Now the key is being a 67% free throw shooter. Can she knock these free throws down?
Well, here comes Zakiah getting off the bench with 1:50 left in the half.
We're looking at an offense move. We're looking at switching out and go in for the offense, and they're going to look for it right off the bat.
So Fry out, Zakiah in as the free throw goes in.
And you have to trust your senior. It's a little risky, but you have to trust your senior.
As Zanae Thompson drains two, so Cooper creeping back a bit. Oh, and miscommunication between Osting and Zakiah. Zakiah stepped over the baseline, then went back, and now it's Cooper ball.
Well, the Valkyries are trying to help this Cooper team cut it to double digits.
Donna Moyer not at all happy. Pausing play for a 30-second timeout. We'll step aside. 8-point game from Glycod.
The one way a good person goes to prison is to hurt or kill someone while driving drunk. Why would you throw your life away? John and I are asking you, please don't drink and drive.
Research has shown high school sports to be a great community influence. Join scores of local businesses that have partnered with Glycod in sponsoring live, hometown-oriented sports programming on our video and social media platforms. For more information, email info@glycod.com.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod.
1:50 in this first half. Sacred Heart by 8, and it's Cooper ball underneath, and it's reading body language. Sacred Heart certainly not as efficient as they normally are.
Well, it's the defense. It's definitely the defense by this Jaguar team. If you think about it, the last time they played, Sacred Heart scored 60 points, but the Jaguars only scored in the 40s.
Valkyries missed a shot off the steal. Becca Carson with a three. That's in.
Yeah, we talked about that, Chris. There was a reason she came into the ballgame.
1:29 in this fourth quarter as Cooper fumbled the inbound, and Sacred Heart made them pay.
Yeah, that was an opportunity for Knoll to attack Zakiah, and she needs to take that opportunity. She should go one-on-one right at Zakiah right now. Try to get that third foul.
And Knoll veering. This time Gilvin switches on her high left.
Be interested to see move Knoll to the middle and try to go one-on-one, but that's not what happened.
Brissy missed the three up top. Cooper tracked down the rebound. There's Knoll, and Osting fouled her from the back as Olivia Scott tried to thread the needle in the lane. So 2 more free throws for the Jaguars. Bree Wilkins will come in as well for Sacred Heart with 2 fouls.
Coming in for Osting. Donna was unhappy about these fouls that's going on right now, just putting them at the line, giving them opportunities to come back.
Yeah, that's been the one saving grace thus far for Cooper, the abundance of free throws, as Haley Knoll certainly not the player you want to foul.
No, not at all. I mean, she is the one you don't want to foul on their team. She's 85, and then Brissy's 70, and then they drop off in the 60s after that.
So Haley Knoll drains the free throw.
You got blood on a uniform is what you got going on right now, Chris.
Yeah, one of the Cooper student athletes is being attended to down at that far sideline. And racing back to play, that'll be Addison Brissy. So Haley Knoll for one more free throw with 56 3/10 in this first half. High arcer for Knoll, swished again.
Okay.
Haley Knoll with 8 points, now leading point getter for Cooper.
Staying with the man-to-man. Running Zakiah out of the middle. Zakiah wants the ball.
45 seconds now in this half. There's Zakiah Johnson trapped in the corner. Up top, Bree Wilkins. Around Tootie Jordan. Flings a corner three. It's short. Zakiah with the rebound. Puts it up and in.
Yeah, great job by Zakiah. I'll tell you what, she went right over the top of that player for that rebound. Good thing you have good officials, because sometimes that's just an automatic foul. That would have been 3, and that would have been a big one.
18 seconds now, content for Cooper to hang on to it for one shot here. And now 13 ticks as the ball dribbled by Olivia Scott. Now Olivia will center it at 6. Haley Knoll high left at 4. Zakiah on her. Knoll skips it out. There's a long 3 to close the quarter that's off from Olivia Scott. And that's going to close the first half. Sacred Heart protecting an 11-point lead. Wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing half, but the Valkyries do lead, Mark, by double figures.
Well, funny you should say that, Chris. If you look at this game and look at halftime, very similar to the last time they played. It's a defensive struggle both ways. Last time they played, the game was 60 Sacred Heart, which is doubled up, do the math, 49 for the Jaguars. So it's following the same pattern. Really not great shooting, all because of great defense.
We'll step aside, an 11-point Valkyrie lead. Final quarterfinal tonight live from Lexington on Glycod.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome to Holy Smokes Barbecue.
At Holy Smokes Barbecue, our pitmasters smoke up mouth-watering ribs, chicken, brisket, mutton, and more. From sandwiches to full dinners, with a complete list of sides and desserts. Holy Smokes Barbecue. Just tell them that the man in the big white hat sent you.
Order up. How's the pork chop taste?
It's pretty good. It's the best one I've ever had.
Holy Smokes Barbecue. Tell them the man in the big white hat sent you.
When you're buying or selling a new home and you want to do it with few hassles, count on Polo Real Estate Group. Founded and owned by 1993 Male High graduate Dion Reese, Polo Real Estate has over 2 decades of experience and offers skillful consultation and representation for your sale or purchase. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. with health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
You're struggling with something in school. Sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
1965 male graduate and basketball star George Tensley knows the value of providing quality service, and that's what you get when you dine with Tensley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, you know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com.
Tonight's halftime report is brought to you by Tinsley Family Concessions, a tradition of corporate excellence and community service. For more, visit tfcfamily.com.
Halftime at the final quarterfinal of this year's 2025 Girls Sweet 16. Sacred Heart protecting an 11-point lead. But I think both teams have some reasons for concern in this first half.
Well, it's been a defensive battle without a doubt, and we expected that going into it. The difference in the game, truthfully, is second shot points that Sacred Heart's been able to get, or fouls that's come about from missing blockouts against the transition offense. That's a big difference. Both of them are evened out about pretty much even on turnovers now. Rebounding, Sacred Heart has the edge, and that's helped Sacred Heart.
For Cooper, you look as we tabulate their stats here momentarily. They're shooting 17% from 2, 21% including threes. What in the world can they do to get some more points on the board?
Well, they need to keep attacking and try to attack north-south. They got to get by the first line of defense by Sacred Heart, break them down. They need to get in the paint and get the ball up to the rim. Right now, Sacred Heart's making it tough because, first of all, they're not beating anybody off the dribble. Secondly, Sacred Heart's covering up the corners, but that's what they need to do. They need to get to the paint, and then they need to create and break down Sacred Heart's defense, and then they need to crash the offensive boards, still making sure one's back on rotation so they don't get burned if they miss a rebound.
And certainly a compelling number is 2, and that's the number of fouls Zakiah has in this game. What does that factor in, and how does that factor for Cooper in the second half?
Well, early, even in the end of that first half, a couple times there was an opportunity for Hilly Noel to attack her one-on-one, but they switch on defense, and it never came to fruition. But I would have liked to have seen, since that was Zakiah's responsibility, I would have liked to have seen Hilly roll to the middle, play the high post, them try to get the ball to Hilly there and let her deal and let her go to the basket, and maybe she could have picked up a foul off of Zakiah at that point. Donna put her back in and took that chance. Zakiah was smart enough to stay out of foul trouble.
Zanae Thompson with 9 points for Cooper. Haley Knoll has chipped in 8. And you look individually, Bree Wilkins leading the Valkyries with 9, and Zakiah with 8 first-half points.
Well, I think there's a reason to hope for Cooper, because if they could get if Zanae can attack the basket and beat that first defender, I would try to play maybe move Knoll down and play her a little short corner right around the rim, go opposite way that Zanae's driving, and then either reap the benefit of a weak side rebound or reap the benefit of a dump across when the defense has to rotate. So, and have a wide open weak side shot. That's what I would think about doing. I know that's not really what they like to do, but I think they could gain some mileage by doing that.
Take a look at your first half numbers on the other side of this pause. Sacred Heart leading 31-20. You're listening to the Girls Sweet 16 live on Glycod.
1965 male graduate and basketball star George Tensley knows the value of providing quality service, and that's what you get when you dine with Tensley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, you know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Mike Shelton in Louisville today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
If a drunk driver hurts or kills someone, the bar or restaurant that overserved that person is jointly responsible. I'm attorney John D. Camillus, and Rob and I hold restaurants and bars accountable. Let me speak directly to bar managers and bartenders. Be a frontline hero. Have the courage to cut someone off. If you've been in an accident with a drunk driver, call us. Our reputation is our trademark.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
Innovation is what allowed us to reach for the stars. And now, to reach for the ignition without changing your oil for what feels like forever. Introducing Oil Guard, a Ferris exclusive. This innovative Vanguard oil system lets you go 5 times longer between oil changes. Along with Ferris's patented suspension system, you'll cut faster, mow longer, and reduce maintenance.
You cannot depend on Carl to make peace with his seatbelt.
Today!
Or on Beth to choose the best meal to go.
Is that soup?
Or on Stephanie's perfect parking spot to stay perfect. But you can depend on their car starting because they have Interstate batteries. Interstate batteries, outrageously dependable.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. Big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. We're lending more than money. We're lending a hand. German American Bank, building our community together.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Tonight's halftime stats are brought to you by German American Bank. Support your community school with a German American School Spirit Check Card. Visit GermanAmerican.com for more information. There you see the halftime stats and free throws keeping Cooper in this game.
Well, I mean, somewhat it is keeping Cooper in this game. They've shot 16 free throws and made most of them, made 11 of them. But on the flip side, Sacred Heart's 7 for 7. But it's really amazing that Cooper's only down by 11 points, to be honest with you. You know, with Sacred Heart's 18-6 points in the paint. Sacred Heart's 16-7 points off turnover. Sacred Heart's 17-7 second chance points. Those are usually nails or in coffins or going toward the coffin. I mean, those are big numbers, and 11-point lead. Like I said, I think Cooper's very fortunate, only shooting 21% from the field, 20% from the three-point line, whereas the Valkyries are 39% from the field, 22%. And like I said, the free throws are keeping Cooper in, but it's a slippery slope they are definitely on right now.
Caroline Osting providing a lift for Sacred Heart. Carolina with 5 first-half points. We told you about Wilkins 9 and Zacchaeus 8. Osting with 5. Also Becca Carson with 5. And for Cooper, Zane Thompson 9. Haley Knoll with 8. And not another player above 2 points for the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's tough sledding right now. And as we talked a little bit earlier, this is a game you might have to get out of what's conventional and what's normal for you. I just really think that the on-ball defense by Sacred Heart is pushing the offense so far out. I think they have to find something that they can do with their super sophomore 6 foot Haley Knoll. Maybe play her off the block a little bit and let Zane attack and maybe create some things. They need a way to, and that also can create some fouls. And if they could get a couple fouls on Zakaya right off the bat, it changes the game, like I said before, amazingly.
More high school basketball coming up tomorrow. It's semifinal number 1. 10:30 airtime for the 11 o'clock tip between Frederick Douglass and George Rogers Clark. If Sacred Heart wins this game, we'll have both games in tomorrow's semi, with Danville Christian DCA awaiting the winner of this game tomorrow in semifinal number 2 at 1:30. We'll take a quick timeout. Second half on the way back. Sacred Heart by 11 on Glycod.
Are you an HVAC and refrigeration tech looking for new opportunities? Tech 24 is your single source for commercial HVAC, refrigeration, and kitchen equipment maintenance all across the country. We have exciting career opportunities with great pay and benefits in your area. To learn more, contact Brad at 864-549-8344 and check us out on the web at mytech24.com. 864-549-8344.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by Tech 24, a commercial food service repair company. Find out how you can train for a rewarding career and earn top pay and benefits by visiting mytech24.com.
Alongside executive producer Steve Bird and analyst Mark Evans, I'm Chris LeBarn. Welcome back to Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. Sacred Heart leading by 11 as we get set for the second half. And we'll see how both teams choose to start the third quarter play again for the Valkyries. Zakiya Johnson and Bree Wilkins each with 2 fouls.
Yeah, I don't look for that to be much of a concern whatsoever. Right now they're not getting attacked inside enough, and if they don't get attacked inside, they're really not having opportunities to foul.
Valkyries right to left to start is Tootie Jordan on the inbound. There's Tootie nudging it to Bree Wilkins, now Osting in the corner.
Yeah, they were running a post up for Zakiya, but they missed her.
Now Zakiya angling with the right, challenges Knoll, that shot short. Fry got the rebound. Great effort by Morgan Fry, and a Cooper foul as Fry will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, second shots are just totally destroying this Jaguar team. It's been the difference with exclamation points, without a doubt.
As Fry knocks in the free throw, the lead at 12. Sacred Heart's largest lead in the first half was 13 as that second free throw was off as Cooper reels out the rebound. See what the Jaguars do here as they're inching it underneath. Haley Knoll with a great cut and a basket.
Yeah, it was a called play. It's just a slip. She slipped from behind, weak side back, and made a nice play. They made a nice pass, and she was able to finish the shot.
There comes Zakiya Johnson spinning, and a blocking foul underneath as that ball off the mark. Zane Thompson stationed well underneath that halo.
Well, they don't really use that halo. At least they're not supposed to use that halo. I know there was a little bit of angst on the Sacred Heart bench. I know a few of the coaches, and they were unsure about that one.
Free throw bounces in. They may not use the halo. I was just describing where she was,
well,
which was deep underneath the basket.
Honestly, Chris, they do use a halo. I'm just...
And Zakiya again. That one bounced down. Morgan Fry again on the glass, but the ball ripped away by Zane Thompson of Cooper. Over now in the corner, Brinkley Rankin. And she throws it away, but Tootie Jordan was on the sideline when she got it. So back to Cooper.
Once again, very fortunate. Right now you really don't have Cooper looking to score, but only a couple players, and that's not going to fly.
In backcourt is Haley Knoll. Knoll and Thompson doing all the heavy lifting offensively tonight for Cooper.
Well, Rankin right now is not even looking to shoot the ball, so Sacred Heart's decided they just play off of her completely.
Tootie Jordan with the steal, drives, leaves it short, and she is fouled by Addison Brissy. Is Jordan such a difference maker on defense?
She's a great defender, and I know I say this often, but when she walked in the door at Sacred Heart as a freshman, defense wasn't really something she wanted to do much with. But now she's become an all-around fantastic player, and defense is top of her list.
Free throw in is Tootie now with 12 and 13, and that's the size of the Sacred Heart lead at 35-22 with 6:40 third quarter.
Yeah, 1-2-1-1 press by Sacred Heart, speeding the game up.
Tootie again with a steal as Tootie shot up and in. And Cooper wants a timeout. Tootie Jordan with 4 straight points, and the lead now a high watermark margin, 37-22 Sacred Heart with 6:28 in the third. Back after this.
If a drunk driver hurts or kills someone, the bar or restaurant that overserved that person is jointly responsible. I'm attorney John D. Camillus, and Rob and I hold restaurants and bars accountable. Let me speak directly to bar managers and bartenders. Be a frontline hero. Have the courage to cut someone off. If you've been in an accident with a drunk driver, call us. Our reputation is our trademark.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the law offices of D. Camillus and Mattingly in Louisville. Our reputation is our trademark.
Been a well-balanced effort tonight for Sacred Heart. Osting with 5, and then Tootie Jordan now with 4 quick points here in this third quarter.
Yeah, Tootie's decided it's time to assert herself. Reminds me a little bit like the guard, that Chucky Hepburn guard that plays for the University of Louisville. Every once in a while he'll give and give and give and give and distribute, and all of a sudden it's his time. Well, for just a few minutes there, once they went to the pressure defense, it became Tootie's time.
6:28 in this third as Cooper really searching for answers, and what can they do to really jumpstart this offense?
Well, first of all, I'm a broken record, but they have to attack the basket with their ability to drive, and it's got to start with Sanae Thompson. And I really do think they're going to have to get Haley Knoll around the basket and use her ability down there too. Maybe even post her up on some mismatches. But more importantly than that, they have to hit these defensive boards. They are getting beat on the boards almost consistently, and that never turns out well.
So the Valkyries' 15-point margin. This is their biggest advantage of the game. Is Cooper going to traverse 94 feet?
Well, they've switched out of the 1-2-1-1 press, and now they're in a straight-out man press, and they're forcing tempo right now. They're keeping the pressure on these Jaguars.
Knoll to inbound. Addison Brissy catches it, and she is fouled in backcourt. That's Tootie Jordan.
Yeah, a little bit too anxious there. You don't want to ever foul anybody that far from the basket. Tootie just got caught reaching around. Usually she just tips behind him and picks it up.
Here comes Knoll into forecourt for Cooper. Far sideline, it's Brinkley Rankin. Now Zanae Thompson in the corner. Thompson, a wonderful drive, and she'll lay it in.
They need more of that. That's what we've been talking about the entire time. She's the one player on the court that can get by her player every time.
In a 13-point Valkyries lead. The ball underneath the Morgan Fry, and she'll travel.
Well, it's start for the Jaguars. They got a stop or two now, and Thompson's attacked the basket once, back into a 1-2-1-1 trap.
5:53 in the third. Morgan Fry with a great defensive takeaway, and then she's fouled going up to the basket.
She's really improved. I mean, I just love watching her play. She's relentless.
So Fry to the free throw line for two. Haley Knoll called for the foul for Cooper as Fry swishes the first free throw.
Yeah. Morgan's just really upped her game. She's normally not a great free throw shooter, but my gosh, she looked like a professional on that one and that one.
Fry drains them both and lead back to 15.
1-2-1-1. They really have struggles with this 1-2-1-1. They need to get the ball over the top of it quick. They're basically running to the corner and being trapped. They're asking for the trap right now. Worst place you can throw it.
Cooper going to inbound again after the deflection. Here comes Brinkley Rankin into front court. How about Fry taking it away again? And a kick ball as she tried to thread it underneath to Zakai. It's out underneath the Sacred Heart.
Well, this is a change by the Valkyries. We talked about that the other night. This is a wrinkle that they brought to the state tournament. They're typically not, they don't run a ton of 1-2-1-1 press, but they do now.
Oh, and thrown away as Wilkins tried to thread it to Tootie. There's a three from the wing that's well short, an air ball from Addison Brissy, and it's out off the baseline. So possession, Sacred Heart.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration there, kind of giving in to the circumstances. That's how you get farther behind.
There's Tootie Jordan in the lane. Great pass, and Morgan Fry missed from the doorstep. Got her own rebound, no good. And here comes Cooper. There's Olivia Scott spinning in the lane. Back to the trailing Olivia Scott, and it's blocked away.
Takes courage by Johnson, but that was a beautiful block.
Zakiya Johnson puts it up, and she is fouled as she'll readjust her crown and head to the free throw line.
Yeah, we're starting to see some vintage Sacred Heart. They're really, really picking it up.
Riley Gilvin to the scores table. She's going to check in for Sacred Heart as Zakiya, 2 free throws. And this one well short. Zakiya certainly not had her most crisp game this evening after playing splendidly yesterday.
Well, you get a couple quick fouls, it completely changes your game. You know, you have to worry about offensive fouls and charges. You have to worry about your rebound, even though she doesn't seem to affect her much. But it takes you out of your game, no doubt about it.
And Zakiya short on that one. So 2 missed free throws as Cooper snares a rebound. And they're going to throw it away. Riley Gilvin scarfs it up in backcourt. Here comes Bree Wilkins, and then Sacred Heart returns the favor. Here comes Anae Thompson for Cooper all the way, and she lost the handle. And it's out of bounds, Jags.
Yeah, pretty ugly basketball for a few minutes, Chris. Back and forth, a lot of long, bad passes by both teams.
Cooper to inbound, 4:46 in this third quarter. And that was missed from point-blank range from Haley Knowles. It slid off the rim. Riley Gilvin up and in at the other end.
Yeah, great transition by the Sacred Heart Valkyries.
Cooper timeout, 4:36 in this third quarter. Sacred Heart starting to open things up, and we'll be right back.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. With health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
If you're struggling with something in school, sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do with it.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Sacred Heart leading 41-24 with 4:36 in this third quarter. Danville Christian awaiting the winner of this game tomorrow on semifinal number 2 at 1:30 p.m. And DCA boast one of the more lengthy players in this tournament, the U of L signee.
Yeah, she's as advertised. She's got a very nice touch around the basketball, around the basket. She can step out. She shoots free throws well. She's perfect for U of L style. Now she's probably going to have to get in the weight room a little bit because, that's big girl basketball, and you get beat up in the paint.
Yeah, certainly this game hasn't really passed the look test, although the Valkyries do lead by 17. But I think both teams just so well schooled on defense. But for Cooper, man, they have missed a boatload of points in the paint.
Well, they've been challenged. All their shots have been challenged, and they haven't handled this 1-2-1-1 very well, and they haven't handled transition rebounding very well. All those has ended up helping Sacred Heart score multiple points.
Turnover.
To get on a run.
Tootie Jordan underneath Morgan Fry leaves that short. Tootie follows, that's short also, and Haley Knoll collects the Cooper rebound. Here comes Knoll all the way into front court. Splits defenders, missed the layup, and a blocking foul on Tari Ralston of Sacred Heart.
Yeah, that's for drama. She fell about a block early on that one, and that's why she got the blocking foul.
Haley Knoll, 10 points alongside 5 rebounds for 2 Cooper free throws.
It was a nice job by Knoll of stepping around the defense, and that's what really caused Ralston to be in that situation.
First free throw is in. As Knoll steers the second.
Beautiful stroke. Knoll's going to be a heck of a player. She's already a very good player, but I look forward to watching her future.
4:13 in this third is Zakaya. Top of the key, near sideline, Gilvin. There is Tootie. And handing off to a cutting Morgan Fry as she's fouled going up for the shot.
Well, you got to love Sacred Heart the way they cut. They cut hard to the basket. They're just really hard to guard. If you get out and try to overplay them, they backdoor cut you. They slip screens well. This second half, they've looked like Sacred Heart. The first half, I think you got to give all credit to Cooper. But I think with that being said, Cooper's wearing down, and that's making it tough.
Morgan Fry swishes yet another free throw. This has been a well-distributed offense tonight for Sacred Heart. A lot of balance. And Fry doing her part as she makes both free throws. She's played well tonight, Mark.
Absolutely. She's been playing well. She's on a high. I think she's very confident now.
Tootie with another steal, by the way.
That really makes a difference.
And now Tootie lost it, and then Tootie got fouled.
Well, I think Tootie might have created the foul. Yeah.
So Tootie had the steal, then lost it, then committed the foul. And it's Cooper ball.
Fun to watch, though. She's got a heck of a motor on her, that's for sure.
3:56 in this third quarter. Haley Knoll inching into front court. Zakaya still 2 fouls, shadows her.
Yeah, they just switch on everything. Sacred does a good job of that.
Knoll
communicating.
Elbow jumper, and she got the roll.
Very nice.
Here comes Tootie into front court, lead at 15. On handoff near sideline, Tari Ralston, as Ralston will exchange to Riley Gilvin. Now Morgan Fry foul line. Back out to Tootie at the top. Tootie left-hand dribble off the window, long. Morgan Fry nearly got the rebound. And Gilvin chases it down, but stepping on the near sideline.
Well, you talk about something else too, Chris. This depth for the Sacred Heart Valkyries have been excellent all through the region and all through the state tournament so far. And they have, anybody they put on the floor can score. Most teams don't have that situation.
3 minutes now as Knoll again knocks it in. This from the elbow.
Yeah, she's great with that little pull-up elbow shot. Beautiful stroke.
Haley Knoll now with 16. Under 3 minutes in this third as Cooper trying to mount some resurgence. Tootie drives, and it stayed in.
Yeah, that was a very fortunate shot by Tootie. She was looking for the foul. Didn't get the foul, but she made the shot.
Knoll skip pass. There's an open corner three, and finally Cooper gets one to go. That's Brinkley Rankin.
Well, they're in a rhythm now. They look good. They've relaxed a little bit, playing for.
And Zakiah drives, and a foul underneath as Rankin called for the block. She tried to slide over in Z's path. And that's going to take us to a media timeout. Sacred Heart with a pair of free throws on the other side. 2:23 in the third. Valkyries by 12 on Glycod.
If a drunk driver hurts or kills someone, the bar or restaurant that overserved that person is jointly responsible. I'm attorney John D. Camillus, and Rob and I hold restaurants and bars accountable. Let me speak directly to bar managers and bartenders. Be a frontline hero. Have the courage to cut someone off. If you've been in an accident with a drunk driver, call us. Our reputation is our trademark.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the law offices of D. Camillus and Mattingly in Louisville. Our reputation is our trademark.
2:23 on the third quarter clock at Sacred Heart by 12 as Zakiah Johnson, 2 upcoming free throws.
Yeah, Chris, I looked for during that timeout by the Valkyries. I saw David Green talking to the team over there. I'm sure they're talking about need to do a little bit better job on the switching of getting up and putting a little bit of pressure on Noel. I mean, right now she's getting wide open looks on their switches. They're being really lazy right now on their defensive switches, which is allowing her to get a shot out that she can make.
So still 10 minutes plus remaining in this game. And that 3 by Rankin ahead of the break was only Cooper's second made 3 in this game. Haley Knoll hit one to start the scoring in the first quarter.
Yeah, that was a big positive, but it didn't last long enough for them. And right now they're going to have to find a way to get stops. They're not out of it. It's not impossible, but they're going to have to really, really step it up on the defensive end, take away any second shots by Sacred Heart, and then they're going to have to make shots on the offensive end, which once again is pretty simple to listen to and see in the circumstances.
So Zakiah to the free throw line. (26-10) yesterday versus Johnson Central. And Johnson today 9 points.
A lot of game left.
Free throw swished.
Yeah, with this game being in the balancing situation, a lot of game left for Zakiah.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if she don't end up with a double-double.
Makes both free throws there. She now has 11 as the lead at 14.
1-2-1-1 press. Been very, very, very profitable for the Valkyries.
Olivia Scott, far sideline, races across. And tumbling down after receiving the pass was Lyra Cooper. And the end result is a held ball. It will be Cooper ball. So the arrow in favor of the Jaguars this time. The ball inched in the corner to Haley Knoll.
Get it clear out for her. She's going to deny the screen and look to go right. Now she's backing out there with Zakiah on her.
Now Olivia Scott up top. Has a stride on Zakiah. Zakiah closes and blocks it out of bounds.
I thought Zakiah was fortunate on that one, to be quite honest. I thought she got her with her body.
Scott to inbound and a Sacred Heart foul. That was a well-executed inbound play as Haley Knoll was fouled. And Zakiah picks up. There's that third foul. Still 1:57 third quarter.
Yeah, I don't see Coach Moore taking her out. I'd say she's going to leave her in. This game still can go either way for him.
And Haley Knoll again, velvet touch at the free throw line. Knoll 8 out of 9 tonight from the free throw line. And that one in as well.
As mentioned before, a beautiful stroke. A little bit of full court pressure. It looks as if they're in a 1-2-2 trap.
1:55 in the third. Carolina hosting lost the handle, and Cooper with a run out at the other end. That's Lyric Cooper, put it in. The lead at 10. Tootie across the timeline, and an astute foul by Addison Brissy right before Tootie unleashed that pass to a wide open Bree Wilkins underneath.
Well, as Coach Patino always puts it, fouling negates hustle. You know, they have to learn to close those traps without fouling. They're looking to steal the pass, not steal the ball from the ball handler.
Free throw in as Cooper commits their 5th team foul. And the lead at 11. And Tootie rattles them both home. She now has 8 points.
Well, I like Coach Holdhouse picking up the pressure like this. I mean, if you can sit back and play straight up man and get beat by 10, or you can go all out and take a chance and maybe come back and make a great comeback.
With 1:37 in this third quarter, the lead is 12. And Cooper able to get it across. There's Brissy in the corner. Brissy a strong drive, got it in.
Yeah. Jaguars missed a turnover by about that much, by about an inch, but ended up finishing well. You know, got a little bit going on right now.
Riley Gilvin near corner, swings it underneath to Zakiah. Back to a wide open Morgan Fry that puts it in.
Fantastic vision by Zakiah. Fantastic.
And Morgan Fry completing an outstanding quarter. There's Brissy into forecourt, a 3, far corner off the mark. Zakiah got the rebound after the miss from Brinkley Rankin, and Wilkins puts it in at the other end.
Yeah, that's the problem with desperation. You send everybody to the boards, you don't rotate anybody back, and you get a great passer with great vision like Zakiah, and they make you pay. Got Bree leaking out on that one. Some people call it snowbirding.
14-point margin with 30 seconds in the third. Haley Knoll up top. Knoll to the lane between defenders, lays it in. Her points really starting to accumulate. She's got 18.
She's 1-2-1-1 or 1-2-2 press.
15 seconds in the third. Riley Gilvin off the mark and a block underneath on Cooper with 13 seconds in this third. It's on Brinkley Rankin and Riley Gilvin to the free throw line.
Yeah, the Jaguars did a nice job of pushing it down and had a little run going on there, but it's all said and done, they didn't gain a whole lot, and that's really, really frustrating for the Jaguars. For the Jaguars.
Tari Ralston is in as Zakiah subs out with those 3 fouls with 13 seconds in the third. Riley Gilvin again steers that in. The lead at 14 points. 12 seconds now. There's Olivia Scott. At 3 seconds now, Lyra Cooper lofts it in the lane, and that's going to wrap up quarter number 3 as Bree Wilkins with a partial block. And the Valkyries 8 minutes away from a trip to the semifinals. They lead 55-41. We'll take a quick timeout, more coverage coming up.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. With health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
If you're struggling with something at school, sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Sacred Heart 55 and Cooper with 41 as we get set for the fourth quarter. Reminder, more high school basketball coming up tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 10:30 for the 11 o'clock tip between Frederick Douglass and George Rogers Clark. And if this score holds, we'll have game 2 as well with DCA Danville Christian Academy opposing Sacred Heart.
Well, as much as the Jaguars did in that particular quarter, as well as Haley Knoll shot the ball, they still ended up losing that quarter 24-21, so they gained nothing from the halftime. So going to have one heck of an unbelievable fourth right here by the Jaguars if they expect to pull the major upset.
Cooper, 21 of 25 collectively from the foul line. That is certainly keeping them in this game.
Yeah, excellent free throw shooting. Better than their own percentage, which is 72.
Only 2 of 9 from 3 are the Jags. And Sacred Heart will have possession to start this fourth quarter on the cusp, perhaps, of win number 33.
Well, let's see what they run here. I'm sure it's a called play, scripted.
And a turnover right out of the chute as they try to find Riley Gilvin.
Well, it was actually a give and go to a cutting Johnson. Went over the top of her.
Here's Haley Knoll up top for Cooper.
Got Ralston in for her defense right now.
Olivia Scott dumps it down low to Knoll. Back around Zane Thompson. Zane baseline floater, and she's fouled as the shot rattles out. Tootie Jordan called for the first foul for Sacred Heart in this quarter. As Zane Thompson, 67% on the year. And the free throw bounces out as well.
Well, Zane is one of the young ladies on this team that can beat you one-on-one at any time. And, that's pretty much her driving ability is giving her some opportunities tonight.
7:33 now as the free throw goes in there. Zakiah around to Bree Wilkins. A corner three in.
Yeah. Once again, Zakiah being unselfish. Perfect ball rotation. Bree's right where she needs to be on the wing and knocks down that three in perfect rhythm.
Her passing is just so impressive.
Well, your shots are created by the pass that they get, and her passing makes them better shooters.
Lyric Hooper, great reversal. Lyric Hooper makes the three. So the lead at 13 with 6:57 to play.
They're staying in that 1-2-2 trap.
There's Tootie Jordan around near side. Riley Gilvin. Gilvin underneath Wilkins. Went high to get it. Bumped from behind. And a Cooper foul. I believe it's on Olivia Scott.
Yeah, excellent vision by the Jaguar player to see the weak side block on the opposite side. It was a tough pass, but able to get it in there by the Valkyries.
As Bree Wilkins to inbound underneath for SHA. There's Zakiah, top of the key, facing, pivoting right off the window, in and a foul.
Yeah, tremendous spin move. I mean, she went left, spun back right, used the window, and just knocked it down.
And Zane Thompson is going to foul out for Cooper. And Coach Holthouse going to take his full allotment of time. Cooper going to bring back Brinkley Rankin. And Zane Thompson, in all likelihood, playing her final high school game. A wonderful career, lone senior for this Cooper team.
Yeah, Coach talked over and over and over about the leadership that he gets from that lone senior.
Free throw is in for Zakiah, so she's starting to smolder, as you predicted, Mark.
Can't hold a great one down, that's for sure.
She's got 14 points and 8 boards, 4 assists as well. There's a corner three that's going to be out from Olivia Scott. Held ball, and it looks like Cooper will keep it, and they will.
Well, there's no quitting Coach Holthouse's team, but they're a worn-down bunch. They just don't have the depth that Sacred Heart has.
There's the inbound, and my, oh my, Haley Knoll beat everybody underneath for 2.
Yeah, she's a good-looking player.
There's Tari Ralston, finds Riley Gilvin coming up the floor, and Gilvin lost the handle. Zakiah stole it back, fed Wilkins for 2.
Yeah, I almost felt bad for Haley that time. She did a fantastic job of taking the ball away and then lost it, and Zakiah made the right pass.
Brissy inside the arc heaves a three. That's off. Tari Ralston out, and she's going to lay it in, and Zakiah's got 3 quick assists.
Maybe it's a triple-double she get tonight, Chris. We talked about her slow start. I knew she'd get a double-double, maybe a triple.
5:45 to play, and Sacred Heart well on their way.
Yeah, it's a horns look. It's a double high screen. Got to roll back looking for the three.
Here's Haley Knoll around top of the key to Brinkley Rankin. 5:28 remaining. Rankin split defenders, put it in, and a Sacred Heart foul as well.
Yeah, that young lady's whooped, but I'll tell you what, she is a player. She's a warrior. That was a great move. That might have been a little NBA continuation on that one, but by gosh, she earned it.
Knoll with 24, make it 25 after that free throw make. We might be looking at a miss basketball coming up in a couple of years.
Especially with great coaching and good program, that's what makes them.
Riley Gilvin in on a Tootie Jordan assist with 5:11 to play. As Knoll in between the legs brings it into front court. Back to Olivia Scott up top. Haley Knoll on the bounce, floats it in the corner to Brinkley Rankin. And a foul, I believe. Yeah, Cooper called for a player control foul as driving in too deep was Knoll.
Well, tremendous job by Tootie of setting up for the charge. And once again, we talked about Knoll. She's wearing down. Great move by her, but she needed to pull up. And, I don't find much fault in her game. She's played a great game.
Valkyries bringing it across. Tootie Jordan has that ball. Dribble right off her shoe top. Scarfed up by Lyra Cooper for Cooper. Entry to Knoll. And a block this time on Tootie. And they're going to count that basket. Raymond Lightfoot nonchalantly moved that hand down, and they will count that basket. So the basket in plus a foul.
Ray's a great official, by the way. He's one of the best of the best. He's out of the Lexington region. He's a good guy. Good guy, great official.
Seen Raymond quite a bit this winter on Glycod with all our Central Kentucky coverage.
Well, you're doing great teams up there, and he usually gets the good games.
And Knoll on the cusp of 30. She's got 27 now after that make with 4:40 remaining.
I really wonder what that call was going to be. I was anxious to see if they were going to call two player controls in a row. Of course, they answered my question.
Zakiah Johnson handles it up top. Bree Wilkins. Wilkins driving. Foul line jumper. No, off to the left. Johnson followed, put it in, and was fouled. So Zakiah's going to get 2 points, and then, of course, the rebound, and that, I believe, gets her the double-double.
Well, give her a little more time. How many assists does she have, Chris?
You got 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists.
Well, she better get busy. She's slacking. She needs a couple assists.
So the free throw wins. So Zakiah 4 assists away from a triple-double. Haley Knoll will handle up top for Cooper. Knoll trying to evade Riley Gilvin. Cutting is Addison Brissy. That shot partially blocked by Morgan Fry. It's loose on the floor, and Cooper has it back. Hooper off the window, puts it in. So Hooper for Cooper put 2 on the board.
Nice job. I thought they might have got her hand too.
With 3:45 in this fourth. There's Zakiah driving. And the pass intended for Morgan Fry out of bounds.
Well, it was a great cover down by number 15 from Cooper to stop that 7th assist by Zakiah. That's what Zakiah was doing, was shooting for an assist.
3:40 remaining is Caroline Osting to inbound for SHA. And lobbed right to Zakiah. Tootie at the foul line. Tootie puts it in, leaves that one short. Zakiah follows, no. Tapped up Fry, no. Tootie follows, yes.
Well, that's been the entire day, Chris. It's been second and third shots, and that's one of the reasons why Sacred Heart's pulled away with this one.
With 3:20 left, few folks far sideline walking up the deep incline of the steps are getting an early ride home, and a foul on the Valkyries underneath. And Tootie Jordan going to foul out. So Tootie fouling out.
Yeah, Tootie had another excellent game, other than the very beginning where she had a couple turnovers.
Riley Gilvin coming in.
She ran the show.
So going to be a short night for the Valkyries. They do get the later game tomorrow, the 1:30 start against Danville Christian, whom they've already beat them by 28 on January 30th. Is the free throw in for Knoll?
Yeah, Danville will have a difficult time with this Valkyrie defense.
And Knoll now, Haley's got 29 with 3:15 on the clock. Zakiah into front court. Now Osting. Becca Carson spins it up top to Riley Gilvin. Gilvin on the exchange to Osting. Under 3 minutes now. Osting trying to feed the post. Knoll anticipates with a steal. Haley Knoll drives and puts it in again. Knoll's got 31 points. The Valkyries beat everybody back, and Zakiah answers with 2 more. 15-point Valkyrie lead, 2:38 remaining. There's Becca Carson. Handoff to Olivia Scott, turns and shoots. It's short, rebound Morgan Fry. Sacred Heart ball.
Yeah, you got Zakiah leaking out early every single time, so she's looking for the quick baskets.
Riley Gilvin off the mark that time. Is a lot of fatigued players. Haley Knoll off the mark on that deep three. It's tracked down by Brissy in the corner, and Knoll cuts and puts it in.
She's unbelievable, Chris. I'm really impressed with that young lady.
It's a full Cooper timeout. Haley Knoll, 34 points tonight for the Jags, but not nearly enough. We'll take a timeout, more coverage after this.
Go ahead, pour it on, as thick as you want to. Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering, serving up the tastiest ribs, chicken, brisket, brown sugar sticky wings, mutton and ham, always served to you fresh and so good, it'll make you say,
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering, 7508 Preston Highway.
Holy smokes!
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Valkyries 2 minutes, 10 seconds away from a semifinal matchup tomorrow versus Danville Christian. Haley's 74-61 over Cooper, but how about Haley Knoll, Mark? Really an impressive effort.
Oh, I'm more than impressed, Chris. I heard a lot about the young lady. I'm sure I've seen her play a couple times, but even this late in the game with all the energy she's had to use on the defensive end, her offense has been spectacular, and there's no quit in her. I'm really, really impressed. She's one of the better ones I've seen, especially sophomores.
Valkyries in backcourt. Here comes Zakiah between the wickets. Then evading Knoll, and Knoll took it from Zakiah. How about that? And there's Zakiah trying to get that ball back. And a held ball, the arrow, Sacred Heart.
Yeah, I thought that was a gift to Zakiah that time, to be quite honest. Zakiah put a hand on her back and jumped over top of her, but...
Got another media timeout. Now a message from Operation Parent. We'll be right back.
Are you a parent battling with raising your child in today's fallen world? You're not alone. The Operation Parent Handbook is your beacon of hope with info and guidance on social media, vaping, anxiety, and more. It's a resource that equips you with the guidance and conversation starters you need in your parenting journey. Use discount code KIDS at checkout to get 10% off any handbook. Visit operationparent.org to reclaim your confidence as a parent. Operation Parent, you've got this.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycon.
Back live in Lexington, Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. Sacred Heart by 13 with 1:52 remaining in this game. Sacred Heart led 17-9 after one, 31-20 at half. And they've had a comfortable double-figure lead throughout this game.
Well, I looked up there though, Chris. I felt like it was more of a lead, but the show that Noel's putting on is just unbelievable. I mean, she's definitely matching plus. It's still 13 points with 2 minutes to go. Not impossible by any stretch, but going to have a lot of stops right here. But the other thing you have to, really give Donna credit for in Sacred Heart. They've used a lot of players today, even in key times. They have, there's 6 person off, the first person off the bench, second person off the bench, third person off the bench has been involved, and at least the first 2, and really not so much depth for the Jaguars.
Yeah, Cooper has only played 6. Lyric Cooper has been the lone reserve thus far.
Well, you do what you have to do under these circumstances, and but the lack of depth on this big basketball court coming off on the second game definitely does take its toll.
And possession side court for the Valkyries as Bree Wilkins inbounding directly in front of her to Becca Carson.
Well, they're going to have to end this game without Tootie, and she's their best ball handler.
As Becca Carson now will handle that responsibility. Top of the key, it's Riley Gilvin fighting through contact, and Cooper is called for their 15th foul. Foul is on Brinkley Rankin, so Sacred Heart to the free throw line. Be Riley Gilvin.
79% free throw shooter, so she's not one you want up there. She hasn't shot a lot of free throws this year, but she can make them.
And that one a little bit long as Sacred Heart brings back in Caroline Osting. Bree Wilkins will shuttle out.
Yeah, looked a little stiff on that one. Didn't quite have her normal rhythm. She was 30 of 38 coming into the game.
That one in. So Riley 1 out of 2 in the lead at 14. Nola 3 short from the near wing, and the rebound vacuumed in and off the mark from Olivia Scott.
Yeah, that hurts. Great rebound. Put it right up off the glass, and it just fell off.
Sacred Heart with the ball on their side of the floor. There's Zakaya. Off the window, no, but she's fouled with 1:09 to play.
Yeah, once again, Sakaya's a 75% free throw shooter, so she usually gets a little better at the end of games.
Zakaya with 19 points, 11 rebounds, and that free throw swirls out.
I'm not doing too well calling these free throws by both teams right now.
Second one is in. 1:09 to play. Valkyries on to the semifinals. And Zakai with a block shot on the shot attempt from Haley Knoll. And the Valkyries come out with it. There's Becca Carson near wing over to Gilvin. And Morgan Fry at the foul line. Great defense by Lyric Cooper, and the Valkyries turn it over as Morgan Fry is called for the chicken wing. .4 left. Justin Holthouse very quietly is asking the official for the flagrant.
Coach has an argument on that one. Morgan got a little frustrated on that, all that pressure that was put on her, and
both teams going to empty their bench. Really impressed with Justin Holthouse, his demeanor down there, and just the control of the game.
Well, we talked in the back, off record or whatever, and he said, people want to be treated like you want to be treated, you want to treat people like you want to be treated, and talked about the relationship with the kids. And what you find and what I found over all the years is if they know you care about them and legitimately care about them, those kids are going to run through walls for you as long as you'll run through walls for them. And I think that's what he's got there. I think that's why they won 4 in a row out of that tough region.
Sacred Heart turns it over. A lot of reserves on the floor. Is to our right, Justin Holthouse down having a great conversation with one of his student athletes that he just took out of the game. And
pretty good one. I think that's Hilly Noel.
It sure was.
Noel that he's talking to.
And a foul at the other end as we're going to have Gabby DeCamillis to the free throw line with 6.6 left. And the Valkyries on to the semifinal.
Yeah, good second half by the Valkyries. Their 1-2, 1-1 press really paid dividends, and hitting the offensive boards really paid dividends for them today.
And Gabby knocks in the free throw. 5'5" junior in the lead at 16 with 6.6 to play. And that one in as well. A lot of the DCA folks, tomorrow's Sacred Heart opponent, leaving now. They've gotten an eye full here in this game.
Yeah,
3 seconds left.
They need to get a lot of rest tonight.
And Gianna Cooper's shot for Cooper is off, and that's going to wrap things up as Sacred Heart, a workman's-like performance in a 78-61 win.
Yeah, they stepped up. These games are not all going to be pretty. Give credit to the Jaguars for their defense, but once Valkyries were able to start turning them over, it was a different game.
2 great programs, 2 class head coaches to meet at the scorer's table. Sacred Heart a winner tonight over Cooper, 78-61. Our Cartown Kia postgame report on the way back from Glycod.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
1965 male graduate and basketball star George Tensley knows the value of providing quality service, and that's what you get when you dine with Tensley Family Concessions. They provide travelers with many fine choices at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chili's, or Starbucks, you know your travel experience will be a more comfortable and convenient one. Learn more about our company by visiting the website tfcfamily.com.
When you're buying or selling a new home and you want to do it with few hassles, count on Polo Real Estate Group. Founded and owned by 1993 Male High graduate Dion Reese, Polo Real Estate has over 2 decades of experience and offers skillful consultation and representation for your sale or purchase. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust.
Check it. Ooh. Oh, no. Oh, come on!
Need a better battery? Get an Interstate battery. Outrageously dependable.
Should have had an Interstate.
Come by Interstate Batteries, 1510 Production Road, Jeffersonville. Blunt Dental Group is a high-quality, family-owned dental practice. We are committed to educating our patients, as well as investing in the latest technology to provide more efficient dental care. Our team of licensed dentists and hygienists includes 2010 Male High graduate Tyler Blunt, located in the heart of Linden at 8013 New LaGrange Road, Suite 6. For an appointment, call 502-425-7068 or go online at bluntdentalgroup.com. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
That was your start, man. Try away.
Tonight's post-game recap is brought to you by the Army National Guard. Protect what matters most to you. Visit your nearest National Guard recruiter or nationalguard.com.
Tonight's most outstanding players are presented by State Farm Insurance Agent Mike Shelton. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Not a lot of suspense. Haley Knoll, 34. Zakiah Johnson with 20. Two outstanding performances.
Both of them, without a doubt. Zakiah got off to a little bit of a tough start just due to fouls, but she showed up in that second half like Zakiah can show up in any half, and fantastic. And I was, for the night, I was so impressed with Haley Knoll. I hadn't seen enough of her, but boy, I saw enough in that second half to, really think she's something special, without a doubt.
So the Valkyries get it done today, a 17-point win. We'll take one more quick timeout and be back for a look at your final numbers. We'll have that for you in just a minute.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right. Pepperoni pockets, cuckoo crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a side of ranch.
For surprisingly great rates and great service, call State Farm agent Mike Shelton in Louisville today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
UA Local 502 is offering great career opportunities for plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. They're seeking highly skilled and trained workers with or without experience. Incentives include debt-free education, employer-funded benefits, apprenticeship that comes with employment, and high starting wages. If you're ready to accelerate your career or just want a fresh start, UA Local 502 could be for you. Contact them at 502-361-8492. UA Local 502. We do it right the first time.
Are you an HVAC and refrigeration tech looking for new opportunities? Tech 24 is your single source for commercial HVAC, refrigeration, and kitchen equipment maintenance all across the country. We have exciting career opportunities with great pay and benefits in your area. To learn more, contact Brad at 864-549-8344 and check us out on the web at mytech24.com. 864-549-8344.
Blunt Dental Group is a high-quality, family-owned dental practice. We are committed to educating our patients, as well as investing in the latest technology to provide more efficient dental care. Our team of licensed dentists and hygienists includes 2010 male high graduate Tyler Blunt, located in the heart of Linden at 8013 New LaGrange Road, Suite 6. For an appointment, call 502-425-7068 or go online at bluntdentalgroup.com. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles.
Blind Select, not just blinds. Blind Select, not just blinds.
Research has shown high school sports to be a great community influence. Join scores of local businesses that have partnered with Glycod in sponsoring live, hometown-oriented sports programming on our video and social media platforms. For more information, email info@glycod.com.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
That was your start, man. Try away.
This segment of tonight's game is brought to you by the Kentucky Army National Guard. Serve your country while going to school or work full-time. Find your fit at nationalguard.com.
Tonight's final stats are brought to you by German American Bank. Support your community school with a German American School Spirit check card. Visit GermanAmerican.com for more information. And Mark Cooper really could never get it going consistently from three-point range.
No, not at all. Neither team could really shoot the ball from three that well. The stats that really stand out for me, though, Chris, is Sacred Heart had 37 rebounds to Cooper's 25, but of those 37 Sacred Heart rebounds, 18 of them were offensive rebounds. Both teams shot the ball extremely well from the free throw line, but, once again, Sacred Heart 27 of 33. You get to the line that much, shoot 82%, you're going to win a lot of ball games. And Cooper's 20 of 26 for 77%. But when you look at it all said and done, points in the paint, Sacred Heart 42-28, points off turnovers, Sacred Heart 27-17, second chance points, Sacred Heart 25-15, points off the bench, Sacred Heart 18-7. That says it all.
Sure does. More basketball tomorrow, both semifinals on Glycod. Keith Elkins, Sean Woods will have Douglas and GRC, and Mark will rejoin me at 1:30 for Sacred Heart Danville Christian. We will, assuming either Douglas or Sacred Heart wins, we will have the final then tomorrow night as well. So that'll do it for us. Going to be a short night for all these teams, but still alive on the final day of the season.
Yep. It's we're following Sacred Heart, and I mean most people expect that, there's a lot on your shoulders when people expect you to come out on top again, and there's a lot of people in the stands and throughout the state probably not pulling for Sacred Heart, I would venture to say, but Sacred Heart knows that, and they use that for motivation.
That'll do it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been here all day long. We appreciate your support. Please subscribe to our YouTube platform and share as well, as we strive to bring the most positive representation of high school athletics. For executive producer Steve Bird and analyst Mark Evans, I'm Chris LeBar. Good night from Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. We'll see you tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. right here on Glycod.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. Big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. We're lending more than money. We're lending a hand. German American Bank, building our community together.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
New recruit, take advantage of our apprenticeship program. Come out of our 4-year course debt-free. With health insurance, a guaranteed pension, a degree, and an electrical license.
3 words I'd use to describe the apprenticeship are opportunity, skillful, educational,
solid career path,
rewarding, beneficial, and a brotherhood.
A life-changing opportunity.
The cost of school is free. All your books are paid for.
You go to school once every 2 weeks. All the other stuff is on-the-job training.
The teachers here are great. They're all very, very knowledgeable.
They're preparing you for what you're already seeing in the field.
If you're struggling with something in school, sometimes your fellow students can help you work through that.
Everyone's willing to help each other. It's like a big family.
I love being a part of a union, something bigger than myself.
This field is so vast. You can find something that you really love to do because there is so much you can do with it.
I went from a job to a life-changing career.
Power up your potential with the IBEW.
Line Select, not just blinds. Line Select, not just blinds.
Only your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer has genuine parts, accessories, trained service technicians, and the widest selection of innovative Cub Cadet products. We're here for you whenever you need us, with expert service and support to keep your equipment running at peak performance for years to come. Visit your locally owned power equipment dealer, Anderson Sales and Service in Madison, Crestwood, and our newest location at 1675 Watterson Trail in Louisville.
If a drunk driver hurts or kills someone, the bar or restaurant that overserved that person is jointly responsible. I'm attorney John D. Camillus, and Rob and I hold restaurants and bars accountable. Let me speak directly to bar managers and bartenders. Be a frontline hero. Have the courage to cut someone off. If you've been in an accident with a drunk driver, call us. Our reputation is our trademark.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Mike Shelton in Louisville today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're watching Louisville Basketball Game Night from Glycod. From Glycod, this has been UA Local 502 Louisville Basketball Game Night. UA Local 502, they do it right the first time. Tonight's game was brought to you by Tinsley Family Concessions, commitment to quality. The Army National Guard, where the next greatest generation is now. German American Bank, building our community together. Polo Real Estate Group, a realtor you can trust. IBEW Local 369, power up your potential. Blunt Dental Group, straightforward smiles. State Farm Insurance Agent Mike Shelton. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Holy Smokes Barbecue.
For schedule information about our upcoming broadcasts, visit our website, glicod.com, Facebook and Twitter @Glycod. We thank you for tuning into this live sports presentation from Glycod.